Hey everybody, welcome back to Driftwood Ranch. This is my video where I ask you to vote. Can y'all see my dog back there? For what I'm going to read for the Wasted Weekend. What is the Wasted Weekend, you might ask? Most of you know that I'm a devoted follower of Criminology's channel. Every year he hosts an event in August called Garbaugust, where you read trashy books. Trashy books are not necessarily bad books, but they are designed to take advantage of something in the zeitgeist. The best example, it's the book version of an exploitation film. It exploits something that someone's interested in. And if you want to read about exploitation films and things that people exploit interests in to sell more books or to sell more movies, then, check out the Wikipedia section on the various types of exploitation films. Those apply just as well to books. But we don't have to wait till August to enjoy trashy books. The Wasted Weekend is in February. It's 6 months before, and it's kind of a pique your appetite appetizer course on the weekend of February 15th and 16th, which happens to be the weekend of my 55th birthday. So I'm going to read one trashy novel that weekend, as are the other participants, and it's become popular now, for whatever reason, I don't know who started it, to let their viewers choose their pick for them. In other words, I'm going to give you 7 books that are trashy novels on my shelf, and you get to vote in the comments for which one I read. And whichever one I read, I will post a review of. So I've got a stack here. I'm going to start with this one. This is called Fire by Alan Rogers. You can see it's a mass market paperback, which is a dying format. The end of the world has come, but the horror has only begun. The president's a madman with a finger on the button. He's determined to bring the rapture of Armageddon to an evil world. The scientist, he accidentally discovered the cure for death. But for the newly risen, it's not a blessing, only eternal damnation. The preacher, he's taken over the media to spread his apocalyptic message to an army of rabid listeners hell-bent on a second inquisition. The beast, hideously deformed, it stalks the ravaged land, bringing promise and panic with its eerie, clairvoyant powers. Now a small band of men and women, both dead and alive, are being summoned to Heartland America in the ultimate showdown between good and evil, to a clash of forces beyond their wildest nightmares, to an orgy of violence where not even death can end the torments of the flesh. Prepare for the worst. Get ready to be consumed by fire. And I don't know if you can see on the cover, but it says it's an epic of horror in the best-selling tradition of The Stand and Swan Song. I loved both The Stand and The Swan Song. I think a cheap knockoff of the two sounds like a lot of fun, but it's certainly not our only choice. We also have a book called Sliver by Ira Levin, who is the author of Rosemary's Baby and The Boys from Brazil. New York Times bestseller, now a major motion picture from Paramount Pictures. And I think I saw this movie when it came out. It starred Sharon Stone and William Baldwin. Sounds like something from the late 80s, maybe. But Ira Levin is the Swiss matchmaker of the suspense novel. Sliver is as stripped down and efficient as an automatic weapon. That's a Stephen King quote on the back. So here's the pricey. An uptown high-rise, a glittering Manhattan sliver building. Slivers in quotes there. A successful single career woman. A shocking secret hidden in brick and concrete. A high-tech nightmare. Someone is watching her. He watches her unpack, watches her make the bed. His eyes are everywhere. He owns the building. Now he owns her. Sliver. There's no place more frightening than home. So that one sounds like a good one. It's not a novelization because the movie came after the book, but, it is a tie-in because it's got the cover from the movie there. And it sounds like fun. So it's an option. I've also got this book that my daughter picked out for me called The Werewolf's Kiss by Sherry Scotch. A fast-paced story amidst the rich decadence of New Orleans, in the tradition of Laurel K. Hamilton and Anne Rice. Laurel K. Hamilton is pretty trashy. So if this is in the tradition of Laurel K. Hamilton, it's probably trashy too. Anyway, this is The Werewolf's Kiss. Fast-paced and smoothly written as exciting new voice, Steve Vance, author of Spook. Also, here's a quote from one of my favorite trashy authors, Ray Garton. Draws the reader seductively into its embrace. Keep your eye on Cherie Scott, the new reigning queen of chilling erotic horror. This is book one of the Voodoo Moon trilogy, so if I like it, maybe it'll be the start of something. I don't know. The world of the Louisiana werewolves. Sensual and seductive, it holds secrets that only the initiated may share. Sylvie Marley is drawn to the moonlit bayous, to her lover, Lucien, and to a choice between the debutante's life she knows and the werewolf life she craves. But for Sylvie, there is a hidden danger. A madman must have her power, the power she is unaware she possesses, to satisfy his desire to make himself king of the voodoos. All he needs is Sylvia's total surrender and one act of ritual murder. Sounds fun. It's not too long. Meg, a novel of deep terror. See what they did there? If you see her glow, it's too late. I believe this is about a giant shark. I think it's been made into movies. This summer's most exciting read, an adrenaline-pumping thriller from the New York Post. You know, if the New York Post is the blurb you've got on the back, you know it's trash. If Michael Crichton and Clive Cussler were to combine their talents, again, another signal that this is trash, to create the ultimate underwater suspense novel, Meg would be the result. A relentlessly frightening page-turner, this year's wet and wild, non-stop thrill ride of an adventure. Many years ago, on a top-secret scientific exploratory dive into the Pacific Ocean's deepest canyon, Jonas Taylor found himself face-to-face with an ancient monster, too horrifying for the modern mind to contemplate. He was the sole survivor of the creature's wrath that day, left with the almost unimaginable belief that the attacker was a real Meg, the prehistoric Carcharodon megalodon. All the experts sneered at the thought of Meg, but she is indeed all too real. Now something has stirred her from the ocean depths. That ancient creature is rising, hurtling toward the surface in a deadly fury, ready to churn the tides of terror. That sounds like fun, too. These all sound like so much fun, don't they? The Heat Seekers. This is another one that my daughter picked out for me. These vampires are looking for more than just blood. Do you need another signal that it's trash besides that quote on the cover? Okay, so Catherine Ramsland explored the depths of the Nosferatu world when she examined the legacy of Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles in The Vampire Companion. Now she weaves her own mesmerizing legend of the undead in her chilling debut novel. His name, ironically, is Christian. He belongs to the Chimera, or clan, who have chosen the snake as their totem. For centuries, they've moved among mortals like shadows, seducing, taking only what they need. But now, something is preying upon the Chimera, a contagion that paralyzes them slowly. Their only hope for an antidote lies in the blood of one extraordinary mortal. But there are those who would gladly see the Chimera perish, the others. They stalk the darkness led by a vampire thought long dead, a manifestation of all that is evil. Now as the sun sets, Christian and his kind have one last chance to find a cure before the others raise hell. Lots of little wordplay there on the cover. And there's a quote from Whitley Strieber, another trash signal. Catherine Ramsland is a marvelous novelist who approaches her subject with chilling, fascinating inner knowledge. The Heat Seekers is a gem, says Whitley Strieber. So if you want me to read a novel about good vampires versus evil vampires, it looks like this is the one. This looks really fun for me. This is Dirty Harry, Death on the Docks, Dirty Harry number 2 by Dane Hartman, which I'm sure is a house pen name. For Dirty Harry Callahan, you might not be old enough to remember the Dirty Harry movies, but I am, and they were great. They starred Clint Eastwood. But when they got the message that Eastwood didn't want to make any more Dirty Harry films, they decided to spin him off into a series of men's adventure novels. For Dirty Harry Callahan, it's a labor of hate when he busts a labor racketeer. There's some guys in this world even dirtier than Harry Callahan. Like Union Czar Matt Braxton, the biggest deal on the docks. He's corrupt enough to be cozy with the mob, rich enough to afford friends in the highest places, ruthless enough to kill anything that stands in his way. Dirty Harry's standing there all right, and he doesn't intend to give an inch. And I love the artwork on the cover. It's a real nice picture of Clint Eastwood there. As the Dirty Harry novels went on, and there were only about a dozen of them, the character on the cover looked less and less like Clint Eastwood. I don't know if they were just hiring cheaper artists or if the idea was to move further and further away from the film. I don't know. Finally, this is choice number 7, Atomic Werewolves and Man-Eating Plants, when men's adventure magazines got weird. Now, I like the idea of this one because the font size is a little bigger. All these other ones were mass market paperbacks, which are hard on my eyes these days. Ghosts, vampires, giant lizards, man-eating trees, the undead, rats, cannibals, killer robots, werewolves, mad scientists, aliens, devil worshippers, homicidal maniacs, and tarantula women. This website is menspulpsmag.com from the Men's Adventure Library. I don't know with a description like that how you could figure out that this was not a men's tailored magazine, but it also has beautiful artwork throughout. Reproductions of these covers are just gorgeous. This was well worth the money. I haven't read it yet. So those are the 7 choices. I will list them in the description below. This is for the Wasted Weekend, February 15th and 16th. I'm going to read one of these books that you choose, and you leave your vote in the comments. The book that gets the most votes is the book that I'm going to read. And Brockmeyer and I are about to say goodbye, but more importantly, we want you to stay hydrated and stay sexy, folks. Thanks for watching.